Hello, my name is Claudia Toledo, and for Humanities 2, for an extra credit, I wanted to talk a little bit more about the concept of bewitching in the European expansion. So it's something I've been fascinated with. We touched on it a little bit in a few of my other classes, and learning about the parallels between how we perceive witches in movies or in horror ideals as opposed to how they were historically viewed. The synchronicity is insane, so that's really why I wanted to further my studies on it a little bit. So to begin, imagine if you could simply accuse someone of bewitching you, and the law of court would take this information completely serious. It was enough to put somebody at the hand of an executioner. This is exactly the way that witching was dealt with during the European expansion. Although themes of witchcraft might be popular in movies today and a laughable thing when Halloween time rolls around, just 4 centuries ago, this was no laughing matter at all. Magic, miracles, and spells were taken extremely close to home, and over 100,000 people were prosecuted for the crime, and some 40,000 were executed for it. As Christianity was already facing a huge wave of rebellion, black and dark magic was viewed as a partnership with the devil, hopes of inflicting malintent on the church and its people. They viewed anyone who was worshiping the devil as part of the devil's army, a covenant of people here to derail the mission of Christ. And although that there was also white magic, those were the healers and the astrologers and any practitioner that strayed away from Christianity, they were also subjected to judgment during the time just because they were so weary of anyone who was going across the Christian doctrine when it was already facing such revolt. So there were lots of consequences. There was a really high emphasis on the devil during this time and exactly what it meant to have him present in the everyday common life, exactly how much power he held. And because people were unsure of what he was really capable of and how he was acting through people, people were just extremely paranoid toward everyone. So how did these accusations go about occurring? When you think about a Hollywood movie and you have a perfect target at the time. It's an older woman who probably keeps to herself. She's not really a part of the social norms of her community, typically an older looking woman. And this is truly derived from the people who were strongly accused initially during this time. It was those who didn't fit into the socially constructed mold of religion during that time, people who went off and sort of did their own thing. So they were really under the microscope for witchcraft. So how the accusations went about happening was those who were possessed by the devil or had been bewitched were thought to have had a spiritual or physical sexual connection with the devil, thus enacting them into a pact to which they were able to bewitch others and to perform spells and all of these things against the Christian doctrine. So anything from a birthmark to sort of a scar could be taken as a literal piece of evidence that the devil had been present and that you were bewitched. And they were even spoken of getting accused flying off on broomsticks in the middle of the night to go meet with their covenant and to go discuss bewitching the community. These were serious accusations that were taken extremely, to heart during this time. And often the victims who were being accused would make up false stories just to, escape the torture that was being inflicted on them. And if they pointed a finger at someone else, then they were scot-free. If they really came forward and said, yes, I've been bewitched, I was possessed, then they just had to pick out who did it, and then they were free of it. And so it went. The story keeps on spinning around. People got accused, they would lie, and it was a cycle. But this did come to an end as the scientific era rolled around and people started having more rationale behind it, and the church just stopped being so subjected to all of the differences and all of the attacks that were against it at the time. So hope you enjoyed my video. Thank you.